Hello Sunbeams! Today we are talking about something that we all need to do and probably don't do enough of. Drinking water. One thing I want to note is it's not imperative you use all 5 of these strategies. However, it's what's helped me and will potentially help you build long-term, habitual, healthy water drinking strategies in a fun fairy tale way. So the first thing that we'll get into is vessel logistics. Are you the type of person who needs to see your water, or does seeing your water gross you out? One of my sisters actually cannot use clear water drinking vessels because she can see the just general particles in the water, and it's just crazy for her. I suppose, am a cat, and if I cannot see my water and it does not get changed regularly, I will not drink it. If it is in a water bottle where I cannot see the contents and I cannot see how much I'm drinking, I will not drink it. I'll take one sip and then it'll just be out of sight, out of mind for the next several hours. So I need to see it for some reason to drink it. Figure out, does this matter for you? Experiment. Try drinking with a clear glass. Try drinking from an actual glass. Try a water bottle. Try with a straw. What makes sense for you? I'm also super fussy about cleaning mine, so a part of my closing shift is washing out my water vessels. Yes, vessels, plural. I have multiple. I'll get into that later. But yeah, I need to clean mine at the end of every night, and for some reason, if I cannot see the inside that it is indeed clean, I will not drink from it. The next thing to consider is, do you spend a lot of time commuting? And if you do, how big are your cup holders? So how big your cup holders are is going to determine how big of a vessel you need. So keep that in mind. If you have a particularly long commute, probably a screw-off water bottle isn't going to be the most conductive for your commute. Maybe a straw with a cap might actually be better. Are you a handle kind of person where just holding it feels nice? A can feel is real. I took a ceramics class, side tangent, and we learned about the theory of how a handle in your hand makes you feel and why it's so important that you actually find something that fits your hand shape and how you like to hold your stuff. So yeah, if you're a handle type of person, keep that in mind. If you're someone who likes something more sleek, but you can get your whole hand around it, keep that in mind too when you're shopping around to make sure that you can just have a comfortable hand feel. Another point to consider is how you're going to track your water. So there are those water bottles that have the time indication on when you need to drink. There are also apps you can use to track your water. You can say, I need to finish this particular vessel by 12 p.m. And if I don't, I know I'm behind. Whatever system works for you, I'll link some down below so you can get some ideas. The last part to consider with vessels is, how hard are you on your stuff? Do you drop your water bottle all the time? If you do, you probably don't want one of those metal water bottles that some of us probably had in college, and people would kick, and then the whole auditorium would turn around and look at you. Ask me how I know, please. So you probably don't want that. Are you the type of person who wants a lot of small parts? So if you get one of those water bottles that have the retractable straws on them, do you have a method to clean that? Are you really fussy? Is it going to be too much high maintenance? How regularly are you going to be able to commit to cleaning that? Keep all of those general logistics in mind and how hard you need to be on your vessel. Now, vessel aesthetics will come later because that's the fun part, but we're going through the logistics and the things we have to think about but don't really feel like thinking about first. The next thing for us to consider is timing and location. Where do you drink the most of your liquids? Do you drink them at home? Do you drink it at work? And then if you drink at work, are you close by to refill stations? Do you need a water bottle or water vessel that is easily refillable, or are you at home and you can have multiple tiny little potion bottle containers and you can just grab those pre-made? And we'll get into those in the aesthetic section. Are you also the type of person who wants to get up and refill often, or do you just want one of those giant jugs on your work desk or to lug around school? I personally could never because I'm sensitive and don't like carrying heavy things. But if you're the type of person who does not want to refill, this is going to factor into your decision. You can also consider water stations. So for example, you can have a water bottle that you purely leave at work, and then you use that back and forth with your water refill station, and you're never going to forget your water bottle at home and then have one at home. For me, because I work from home most of the time, I have a water station in my office, I have one in my glam room, and I have one downstairs in the kitchen, simply because I am a master of carrying around my water bottles and not drinking them. So what I've done is I've just left them there, so every time I move to a new place and I see a new one, I'm like, yes, I need to drink. I need to drink. I need to hydrate. So that's what I do, and that's what works for me. And then I don't wind up going downstairs and then leaving it in the kitchen and then coming back upstairs and then being like, oh, I don't have my water, or completely forgetting about it, which happens more often. And then I just don't drink anything for 6 hours. And this is something you can experiment with. Maybe if you do live in a 2-story home, you can have one upstairs, you can have one downstairs, you can have one at work, you can have one at home. Experiment, see what works for you and makes the most sense. Also consider your caffeine intake. Do you wake up and have a bunch of caffeine in the morning? Well, you need to make sure you also hydrate as well to combat the dehydration. Are you someone who wakes up a ton at night to go to the restroom like I do? So you're probably going to want to limit your drinking towards bedtime. So being aware of your natural cycles, of your rhythms, of what you have to do for the day, and then timing your water intake so you don't get a caffeine headache, for example, because you had a ton of caffeine and then you didn't drink any water until 4. I'm sure we've all been there. The next segment is gamification. How can you make this fun? I mentioned some apps, mentioned some water trackers that you could use, but you can also give yourself rewards. If you make your water goal, can you have a little snack? Maybe if you meet your water drinking goal for 30 days in a row, you can get yourself a new sticker to put on your water bottle, which gives you more aesthetics, which you can theme around your main character life and whatever it is that makes you feel happy, and stick it on the water bottle. So you can figure out how to make this a game for yourself. I don't know if you are like this, but I know I am a child at heart. Meaning if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. I'm not even joking. Exercise is very difficult for me because if I don't find a fun exercise, I'm not doing it. But if it's fun, you won't have to tell me. That being said, if I don't have games, I'm not doing it. So figure out how you can gamify your water drinking. Next up is flavor and temperature. How do you like your water to taste? Would you prefer a seltzer water that are fruity, or do you prefer still water? Do you like your water cold? Do you like it room temperature? Do you prefer ice cubes? Do you not like ice cubes? Do you have sensitive teeth so you need a straw? Do you like to crush all of the ice in your teeth? Whatever it is, figure out what temperature and flavors you like. When it comes to flavoring, you can get fruit infusion water bottles. So you can cut up fruit, you can use frozen fruit, add it to the water bottle and put it in the fridge, take it with you to work, you have fruit infused water. They have those little flavor droplets that you can add to make flavored water, so you could do that too. Another fun thing that I like to do is add a few drops of food coloring to a little potion bottle, and then you have like little potions. So like maybe if you drink one set of water for the day, whatever your goal is, and then maybe you go to the fridge and you have your little potion bottle. I'll have some examples of the ones that I use, but that's a fun little way that you can add some magic to your water drinking routine. You can also make fun little ice cubes, like the amount of little fondant ice cube trays that you can make. Like if you really wanted to, I'm pretty sure you could make crown shaped ice cubes with like lemon slices or lime slices or cucumber in them, and you can freeze them, pop them in your water, you'll be good to go. Now onto one of my favorite parts, the aesthetics of your water bottle. So thinking about your main character world, you might be pulling from books, movies, TV, anime, manga, what have you, or your own fairy tale world. What does your main character drink out of? Do they have little potion bottles with a little cork that they drink out of maybe? Do they use a glass carafe because they are a princess in a regal family that they have on their bedside and at all of their stations like I do? Or are they somebody who maybe has a more wooden-esque Viking barrel that's like strapped to their hip? What does your main character drink out of? Are they very particular and they can only have a specific glass filled to a specific height because they're just very specific about those things? Think about it. Realistically, what would you your main character, you as your main character, do. When approaching this, think about what you want your life to reflect and then what vessel makes the most sense. This is an amazing way to feel like you're living in a fairy tale or whatever story you want. You can also decide to sticker or not to sticker. I think what I'm going to do is have some vessels which I do add stickers to and some which are more sleek depending on my mood, because sometimes I'm like, no, everything must be elegant and lovely and perfect and non-adorned and just sleek, and other times I'm like, give me all the stickers, I want to do a themed sticker bottle. Also considering how glass, metal, or plastic affects you, because to me they all taste different. I don't really like certain kinds of plastic, so consider that. Consider how much you drop things if you're a klutz as well. There are so many types of water bottles. I will link a few down below so you can just get an idea, but experiment, try some things. All this to say, these water vessels are supposed to be reusable. This is not the water bottle collection Olympics. So do with that information as you will, but if you want to collect water bottles, collect water bottles. This is not an act to you, just something to be mindful of consumption and making sure that we're consuming intentionally and not just because the next water bottle is indeed trendy. Okie dokie, that is the end of our video for today. I hope you learned some great tips and tricks to choose your next water vessel, improve your drinking habits, and feel like you are living your best main character life. That's all for now. Have a magical day. Bye!